Hello, 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 guys. This is Tisha Alternatives Beauty Studio.
And this is Nikki. I am naturally yours. I mean, you guys, you can see that we are both in our vehicles in a different location, but hey, we got busy lives. So thank you for joining the Twinness today. How are you?
I am great. But Tanika, you say that, but this ties in with our topic of the day.
Okay. Our topic is
Our topic is work ethics. Is it the same today? Is it different today? If it is different today, how so is it different today? And what would you say? What would you say?
well, I think that you can do a lot with ethics. Now, when we're talking about hair, if we're talking about the hair industry, I think that has changed a bit. I think that in general, overall, everything has gotten a little lax and a little looser when it comes to ethics and things like that. I think that's just in general, you know.
Hmm. In general, yes. In general, I would say the same thing. But let's say again, this is Tisha and Tanika. We are both in our cars on the side of the road. I'm relating it back to ethics. I just got off of work because I work on Sundays, and I said I won't make it in home in time for the show, so I will pull over at the side of the road because I can't miss Twin this at 3. And
And I
so that
just finished
shows.
doing my clients as well on a Sunday, so I'm pulled over to the side of the road as well.
So I said, you know what? I have my MiFi, I have my computer. I'm gonna just set up, and I didn't want to come to you from my phone because it never looks the same. So I'm on the side of the road, halfway home. I still got an hour and 15 minutes before I get home. So I'm in Pennsylvania on my way to Delaware, and I wanted to get a head start on my drive because it's supposed to thunderstorm. But to be on the side of the road, that just shows that our work ethic is very hard. We're very dedicated to what we do. And if you are gonna be dedicated to something, your work ethics has to be really high.
Now, T, I have to say, I think it depends on what it is that you do or what you want to do or what you value. So, we're on the side of the road doing this because this is Twinness. Now, I'm going to be honest. I don't always feel like exercising and working out. So I won't show up if I don't feel well or whatever. And so I should be there and I should be participating. But Miss Libra is going to be there regardless because that's her work ethic. She has to be there. She committed to being there. And I'm committed to being there, yes. But some things happen sometimes, but not all the time. Sometimes I just don't feel like working out. So I think it depends on where you put your value as well.
But working out, would that be considered an ethical thing by you not working out? Or is
If
it
you say, I don't know if it's an ethical thing, but if you say, yeah, I'm going to show up, I'm going to be there, I'm going to be consistent, I'm going to do this,
you're not being true to your word?
not being true to your word, and that's a part of ethics because then that's lying. So but for me, I only will commit to at least three days out the week. I don't have to commit to 5 or 7 days, just three. If I make my three, I'm good. But if you say I'm going to go hard, I'm not going to eat this or that or the other, and then you switch it up in the middle, then that's ethical. That's no ethics.
Okay. So let's bring it back to business or
Okay.
work. Um,
But that is
I fi-
business or work
that is
because
that
for
is
her, for her that is her business.
that's
For
her
us,
business.
this is our business. So for
Yes.
us, we have to do it because it is our business. But go ahead.
That's the twist. I was going to say, you just said she does it because it's her business. We do this because it's our program, but we can't require our listeners or our viewers to be here every time, every Sunday. That's if they want to show up or if they can show up.
And
So
a lot of them catch the replay because I know a
that's what
lot
I
of
was
my
getting ready to say. They'll be
clients.
like, "Oh well, we didn't catch it on Sunday live, but we
Hmm.
caught it on the replay. They might catch it tonight." So
Hmm.
for me, us, we have to be here. That's what we do. For Libra, that's what she does. She has to be there. But the people that's in the class might not necessarily be there. And it's not
Hmm.
necessarily, to me, that one is not necessarily an ethical thing.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So in the hair salon, how do you define your ethics there?
Well, I find that today our younger generation are not as dedicated as we were to the craft. I just got off the phone with our sister in law. and we were just talking about something similar to that. Like, she was saying that you and I have been in the industry so long and we have so much to offer. And she really would like for us to do a mentorship program. She feels like we should do a mentorship program because we can show the younger people the way. But I don't feel like the younger people today are really as dedicated or committed. They just want to make some money and move on. I'll give you an example. A client came to me on Friday, and she's not my client. I've only done like wash and condition her hair, but she gets her hair done by her girlfriend that works at home. And she said, Tisha, do you know how much I paid for this? And they were Goddess butterfly locks.
Yeah.
And she said, I said, how much? I said, 175, you know. She said, no, higher than that. I was like, what, 225? She was like, no, more. She paid $375. That's what I said. What? You know, pretty much, are you crazy? You know. And she said, and the girl is ghetto as hell.
Wow.
Okay, that was her choice. And she does it from home. She said she will never work in a salon probably because of her ethics, but she's not professional. And she said she's not professional, but I like the job that she does. So I'm willing to go over there, even though, you know, she might have kids running around. She might be eating over her hair. She's willing to pay the $375 for the style that she likes, you know, even though she's not professional. So someone like that, if you're not trainable, that is also like a questionable thing. And like, some people would say, like my husband today, I knew I was going to be running behind. So I said, you know, maybe I'll stay at the salon instead of getting on the road. And his thing was, well, why can't you just show up late? But why would I show up late? I don't want to show up late. And we're known to be on time. So I don't want to show up late if I don't have to. Last week I was late because I was on the road. I didn't want to make that 2 weeks in a row.
I understand. When it comes to the hair thing, yes, I don't think that the generation is as as dedicated. But then you have so many other platforms that they're learning from, and you know, so they don't really feel like they need the extra. But how will they have a business or a successful business if it's a storefront if they don't have the basics of the ethical standards in place
Be on
already?
time, be professional, you know, just,
And we
you
all
know,
start
customer
somewhere.
service. We all
Hmm.
start somewhere.
And you know, I used to braid from home, and I think Cordell was very young at the time. And so, and I was new to the state. So I did, but you have to have things in order. And also, even with me at the shop, when I had to bring Rain with me, if y'all don't know, my daughter's handicapped. And so I would have to change her pamper or give her juice or give her attention because she would get fussy at the shop. Fortunately, I'm grateful for my clients that understand Rain's condition. I might have a few that don't understand her condition, but some would say, well, that's not professional for you to have her here. And I came to get my hair done. I wanted a quiet environment, you know, so I understand that too. But at the end of the day, I'm mom first and then the stylist next. So,
Well, on to that, you know, you have different types of salons. You have the salon that will be, they don't care if it's professional, as long as they leave with their hair tight and
yes,
right, it doesn't matter.
yes.
And they don't care if there's 50 kids running around the salon. I'm here to get my hair done. I don't really care. You know, so, and then you have your mid-range, and I would consider myself a mid-range. I'm not a high-range
Hmm.
salon at all. But then you have your higher end where there better be not be any kids at all, you know, and they want just a quiet, serene, relaxing, because that really is the time for the mother to, or the woman or
Hmm.
man to be pampered, you
Pampered,
know. So
yeah.
you have your different levels of salons. Like, I'm a family friendly salon. Not all salons are family friendly, but I'm not
Right,
going to the bottom of the barrel where just anything goes. Like
right.
back in the day, there used to be eating in the salon, selling fish fries at the salon, selling DVDs and CDs. I was never that kind of a salon, but
Hmm.
I'm not downing anybody for their choice, but that's their choice.
Yeah, I understand that, and I have to go back to the back in the day only because I think at that time Black business owners was still trying to support one another, so
Yes,
they would
that's why I said I
allow
wrote
that.
down that.
Yes, yeah, and I know we still have some people that sell oil that come to the shop sometime, oil and butters and stuff, and you
For
know,
sure, for
so
sure.
and
And I would
incense, yeah.
definitely support that because I've had them come into my salon and
Hmm.
my clients would buy and I would buy as well. So,
Hmm.
but I'm not
Absolutely.
that's not what I'm known
I
for.
got you. Right.
Yeah,
I think another thing on the ethical side is if you don't do something, say you don't do it. If I don't do butterfly locks, I don't do butterfly locks. So I will tell people I don't do them. And it's not because I don't know how, it's because I just don't have the interest or the time for that. So I did have someone ask me about that yesterday, and they said, well, what about the crochet ones? I'll do the crochet ones for you, but I'm not going to do the ones by hand that I got to stand and do all that wrapping. I'm not doing that. So, or if you don't know how to do something, so I don't do weaves. It's just something I've never done. I never really got the skill down. I might have done one or two, but they were not the best. So if people ask, I tell them I don't do weaves. That's something I just don't do. You know, I think that's important to let people know ahead of time instead of taking their money and then they're fussing and complaining afterwards.
that's true. That's true. But to me, the only way you learn is if you do. So only if you're interested in learning, then that's what you do.
But
So, because
even
you
if
know
you're
me,
practicing, yeah, I would tell the client, this is my first time, or I'm going to just give you a super deep discount, or, because, it'll take me time to do it. So give me, a little bit for my time. But, mm-mm,
yes.
mm-hmm,
And that's the way, that's the ethical way to go. It's like, well, I really don't know what I'm doing. And as you know, Alternatives is coming out with a few products. And so I'm using them as testers on my dedicated clients that don't mind. They know everything is natural, so they know it's not going to be anything harmful. So they're allowing me to test my products before I bring it to market. And so I'm doing the ethical thing. Look, this is, and it has a list of ingredients on here. I'm not saying anything that's is going to, like the client I had this morning, she asked what would I recommend to thicken her hair. I'm like, I don't use products to thicken my hair. I couldn't recommend anything. Someone asked me what edge control. I don't use edge control, so I couldn't tell you what kind of edge control. So is there anything that can make my hair grow back in this area? I don't take any vitamins or anything like that. So I cannot ethically say, oh, use, I don't know,
mm-hmm.
Tanika's hair balm or whatever. I can't say what for them to use because that would be unethical for me, because then they'll say I don't see any results. It's not growing, and I don't want to be on that. Well, you told me to
Right.
use.
Yes, absolutely. Tisha said, Alternatives Beauty Studio said, yes, I
Yes.
understand
One
that.
client came to me Friday night, and she said, Tisha, I've been using mousse and gel like you said. I said, hold up, wrong salon, because Tisha doesn't use mousse and Tisha doesn't use gel on the hair like an everyday. I only use my gel, and I use that on my locks, So I said, it wasn't me that told you to put no gel on your hair to put it back in a ponytail. I don't do that. I don't want gel buildup coming into the salon. I don't. So I said, no, that wasn't me, my dear.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I did. My client that came today, this was only my second time meeting her, but the first time I shampooed her hair, she has locks and they're 10 years old and they were disgusting. They were filthy. And so I said, we're going to have to do a detox on this the next time you come. So she did the detox at home and she came today. I said, oh, your hair looks so good. She said, I did the detox. I really like the results. I think I'm going to go in a second time and do it. I said, you don't have to do it right away, but one more time this year and you'll be good to go. But she did take the recommendation and she loved it. And her hair, you could see the hair and the difference in her hair. She said how filthy her hair was when she was doing the detox. So I was happy that she took me on my word. And it's not something that I would tell everybody, because there's so much, like so many platforms, like I said, and people are getting misinformation. You should do this once a week and you should do this every month. And I'm like, no, you don't have to do all that extra. And I think that being in the industry for the amount of time builds your credibility. And so sometimes they might need the education, but again, they got to be willing to take it and, take the advice or, comments.
How you doing, Patricia? Ah, I'm just making sure. Okay. So we are both at the side of the road today, Patricia, because I was on my way back to Delaware and my sister was on her way home from work. But we are so dedicated to you guys that we had to stop and do this live for you. And it's our ethical nature. We said, look, we come to you on Sundays at 3. Last week we were late. I didn't want to make a second week in a row late. So I said, I have to do what I have to do. And so we just want to talk about ethics today. And it seems like, sometimes people hold ethics and morals hand in hand, so as the morals go down, so does the ethics, and vice versa. As the ethics go down, so does the morals. So I don't
I
know.
found, but like I said, we're talking about the hair industry.
Yes.
Even with products, like if you're not using the best products and the hair break off, or things like that, and you try to cover it up real quick, stuff like that. That's so unethical to do. Like, I'm supposed to use I don't know, I don't do color. I'm supposed to use a 20, but I use the 40 to make it go quicker,
Faster.
to bring the color up, and then the hair breaks off, instead of, I had a client that did that. I mean, she came the other day, got her braids. She's beautiful hair. When she sat in my chair, I was like, what happened to your hair? And she went to a professional. But I said, well, the professionals that I know, they won't just go straight in with the color like that. They'll lighten you a little bit today, a little bit next month, a little bit
Stages.
yeah, stages, not just full on. And that's what happened. The girl did it full on and her hair just fell out.
Well,
So
I gotta say whoop whoop, because I had a client this morning that called, and she told me, well, and I live in Delaware, so I'm not here all the time. And she said, my stylist is on maternity leave. I don't know when she's coming back, but I have so many colors in my hair. She said, I have a blonde, and then I have like an orange color, then I have black. And I said, I'm sorry, I'm not a colorist, but I can get it back down to the black or the brown that she wants. But I said, you know what? I'm going to send you to the colorist that I use, Miss Dana. And so I referred her out to Dana, and Dana was like, thank you. And that was it. Like, I know I won't be back in Delaware, and I don't have the time because of Memorial Day, but but Dana is going to take her. Yeah.
yeah, and I think that that's important too. If you can refer out, because there's stuff I don't do, I refer out. And people ask me about color all the time. I don't do color. I can refer you to people. I don't do weaves. I can refer you to people, and then, I don't do lock extensions. So I refer out.
All right. So Patricia's asking what can cause hair to be stunted? There's so many things that can cause your hair to be stunted. So
Yeah.
you can have different health conditions like heart, thyroid, diabetes, liver. You can have health conditions that'll make your hair stunt. You could be adding too many products to your hair, like using the kitchen sink. Oh, I'm going to use olive oil, coconut oil, aloe vera oil, all of these things, eggs, mayonnaise. Those things can be
Fruit.
clogging. Yes,
Fruit.
yes. Fruit,
Uh,
beer, all of these things that people do to themselves can be stunting to the hair as well.
and your
So
diet,
the diet
how
for
you
sure.
eat, not drinking enough water, not getting the proper nutrition. So these are things that we know that can stunt your hair growth. And having the wigs on all day, having your weave too tight, having your braids too tight. Those are things we
And
already
having
know.
the things in too long.
Having the braids in too long and the weave in too long. These are things that we know and we have control over. Medical issues we might not have control over. Medications will make your hair fall out, or stunt your hair growth. Diagnoses. I know one of the girls next to me had a client who had CP. She couldn't identify what was wrong with that client, but I knew straight on when I walked in the building. And I asked the client about it, and he was fine with it, And so she was like, Nikki, I didn't know. I knew something, but I didn't know. And so the medication was his thing. So I think just being mindful, we know what contributes to hair growth, and then genetics as well can play a factor in your hair shedding. If you're usually baldness falls on the father side, but daughters can get it as well. So if your family has the thinning, then it could be genetic.
Especially the most popular today, I believe, is the traction alopecia. Everybody's talking about these protective styles, but what is it really protecting, and is it being done properly? So if you're going to wear your box braids, and I always tell people, cornrows or whatever with extensions, I always tell people to give it a break. But if it's being done too tightly, then how is it protecting you? It's actually hurting you. It's not protecting you if it's done too tightly. It's not protecting you if you're leaving it in all summer because, oh, I'm going swimming and I don't feel like taking the braids out because it's so convenient. That's not protecting your natural hair. So it's actually doing more harm than good if you're not going to take care of it.
So thank you for that question, Patricia. And I think that ethically, we're telling you what it is. Now it's on you, not you per se, to take the advice and go with it with what you know. Thank you guys for joining Twin This. This is Tanika Gillard. I am naturally yours, and we have Tisha McDonald, Alternatives Beauty Studio. We are on the side of the road today, both in our vehicles. But we wanted to join you guys today. We have another podcast coming up this afternoon. So Tisha's trying to go there, get home to get to that with Libra Hicks. And, we'll be joining her on natural beauty as well. But
Patricia, I'm going to respond back to Patricia real quick. She said my last braids were too tight. Patricia, once you know that braid is too tight, you have to tell the stylist right away that it's too tight to
absolutely,
loosen up. And
absolutely.
sometimes they will not loosen up that grip. They'll tell you get in the shower and put some water on your head to loosen it up, or put some oil on your head to loosen it up. But as soon as you know your braids are too tight, they're too tight. So you really need to get them out if
Mhm.
they're too tight, or let the technician know immediately that they're too tight.
Jay, I am happy that you're here because I
I
thought
am
about
happy
you
that
this
she's
morning.
good.
I thought about her this morning. I was like, I wonder how Jay is, but I didn't want to text because, I don't want to bother her. I know she's recovering. So it's good to see you here, Jay. Much love, much love. I got a trickle of a tear. I'm happy that you're here. Yes, cornrows could be too tight. And so sometimes what my clients will do, if they say, "Oh, could you do that over?" I'm like, "Okay, well, just hold it. Hold that spot right there, and then I'll take it out and redo that cornrow." You have to say while you're in the chair, because once you get out the chair, it's too late then. I know some shops, and this is going to be bad, and this is going back to ethics. Some shops, you'll leave out the shop, and then you'll come back and say, "My braids are falling out, or my hair is too tight, or whatever," and they won't even remember you. They be like, "Oh, you didn't come here to get your hair done." So you
Or
need
they'll
to,
remember you and don't want to correct it.
you're right, right, because they already got your money. So what you coming back for? So I always say that if it's too tight, say it in the beginning. I know sometimes even with styles, like when you get the corn braids and they going up, it's important for you to be gentle with that nape area when you go and doing an up style because you might not feel it at the time, but as soon as
I
you
was
put
going to
the
say that.
head back, you're gonna feel, oh, that's too tight right there. So be mindful of those things when you're sitting in the chair. And of course, say something while you're there because after you go, it's not their fault. It's your
But
fault. So,
sometimes people don't realize how tight their hair is until they get
but,
home.
or until the last braid. Sometimes I'm like, oh,
Right, right. Because
it's
I'm
that
always
last
asking,
braid.
is this too tight? Are you okay? Are you
Hmm.
comfortable? And so
Hmm.
many times my clients will say, I don't even feel it. Usually it's too tight.
Yeah.
I don't even feel it. You're so gentle. But that
Hmm.
comes with experience as well.
Hmm.
And
I get
like
that
Jay
a lot
said,
too.
some people think cornrows are not correct if they're not tight. The braid itself should be firm, but not tight. And, Jay is a stylist as well.
Hmm.
She's a social worker, but she's a stylist as well. So,
Yes.
yes, and I always say your braids should not be tight, and they feel like the tighter the better. Even when I'm grooming locks, if they want a braid style with their groom, I'm like, they don't have to be. Oh, if you braid it really tight, it'll last longer. No, the braid is going to last as long as it's going to last. Just leave it in a little longer,
Hmm.
But your braids are going to
Hmm.
last you the way it's going to last you.
Exactly. Exactly. So you guys, y'all are joining Twin. Thank you, guys, for joining us, and thank you for catching the replay. So this is Tisha McDonald and Tanika Gillard. Today we're just talking about ethics, really as it relates to hair, but I think for any industry, because I know in the medical industry, the ethics are really, really slipping. And I'm really skeptical and kind of nervous about the future in medicine. And I'm gonna leave it right there. I'm gonna leave it there.
True indeed, true indeed. And we all hear about the used car dealerships. I just had a story yesterday. I was doing one of my college students. She's home from University of Pitt, and she was saying she just bought a new car. No sooner than she drove it off the lot, it started smoking on the road. They had to get it towed. They didn't even make it home. Fortunately, her mother was driving behind her, and her father was driving in the car with her. But ethics, you knew that there was something. But once they got it to their mechanic, they overflowed the oil. So that's what was making, and it was spitting, and
Okay.
that's what it was making it, you know. But you knew
Mm-hmm.
you put too much oil in that, you know.
Okay.
And I don't know, maybe she'll catch it on the replay, but I want to say congratulations to my girl Kara. She is prom night tonight, and she graduates Tuesday. Accepted to her college of choice in Florida, and I just wanted to say congratulations to her.
You can't just do a shout out to her because I did my student yesterday. She's been with me forever since she was young, so I had to gift her hairstyle. She's been with me forever. She's graduating. Ramsey is a magnet school here in Alabama, but she's going to the Coast Guard and she's already a sophomore because she was taking college classes while she was in high school. So congratulations to her. But not only to those two young ladies, congratulations to all the graduates of 2021
Yes.
because we know it's been a hard road for our college students and our high school students and the babies. So congratulations for persevering. Thank you, teachers, for being there and doing what you had to do. Yes,
Back to the
ethics.
topic I had here,
Yeah.
you're right, because these teachers, all of this sexual stuff that they're doing across the board, the ethics are slipping across the board,
Mhm.
across
And
the board.
I couldn't even give a solution on how to bring it back. You know what I'm saying? We're getting so lax and
Comfortable.
comfortable. So how do you bring the ethics back? I don't know. I'm just gonna leave it there because I could start with the music.
Oh, that too.
Hmm.
But our sister-in-law was saying that Tanika, y'all should really get into the students while they're in school, the cosmetology students while they're in school, while they're not tainted. That's how you get them. You get them right from the source. You get them right in the beginning before they get into the world and they learn bad habits. Because once they start learning the bad habits, then it becomes a habit.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, thank you guys for joining Twin. I'm going to let Tisha get back on the road because she's still got some time to go. I'm right up the street from my house, but hey, um, thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for catching the replay. We will see you guys on Wednesday night. I don't know what our topic is going to be yet. Don't know if we have a special guest, but we will see you Wednesday for sure.
No special guest this Wednesday. But
Okay.
thank you. And I will be getting on the road because we're special guests for Libra Hicks. And I have to be home by 5 in order to be on her show. So thank you for joining and have a good day.